Hi, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Brown, Marketing Manager at GoDaddy, and this is Small Business Week, Day 5. This is our last installment. And what a better way to kick it off with Amy Benicewicz talking to us about how to build a big small business. Now, before we get started, I just want to do a little bit of intro about Amy. We were just on here going through a presentation, talking, and like I said, I was taking notes and I know I'm a little bit ahead of y'all. So get ready, buckle up, have your coffee, your OJ, whatever you're having this morning. But Amy started out as a mathematics and accounting person, working for banks, CPA firms, and CPG companies. And over the years, Amy has developed many business strategies and skills and is always learning and developing her personal growth. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this webinar to get kicked off, but I'm going to turn it over to the fabulous, the amazing Amy Benicewicz. Everyone give her a round of applause. And again, we are recording, and take it away, Amy.
Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. And you got my name right, so that was awesome. Awesome job. So my name is Amy Benicewicz. I am president of LBDigital. It is a data company. We work with brands and help them with their marketing to reach new clients through data. My company has 2 people in it. We're 20 years old. And we also have 3 partner companies that all together, we make up 11 people. So we are a long-running small business, and we have been successful in becoming what I call a big small business. And I will tell you how we did it. And I'm sorry, the chat function at the bottom is getting in the way of my arrows to turn my slides. So let me try again. Yeah, I don't know if anybody who's technical can help me with this, but the line at the bottom that shows mute and stop video and chat, I cannot get rid of.
And that's going to be down at the bottom. You might also want to get out of laser, and maybe that might help us. Or can you not get over there? There it goes. I just thought.
Okay. I think I might just run it from here because I'm not having success the other way. So I hope everybody can see the screen. I will do the best I can with it. And now I'm going to tell you 4 strategies that I use and my partners use to grow our business. We differentiate with community. So that's kind of who you hang around with, who you share business ideas with, who you get support from and who you support. Customization, and that could be customizing your products, your services, and how that can differentiate you. Content, so that's also how you're presenting yourself to, I call it the World Wide Web, everywhere you are, on your blog, on LinkedIn, wherever you're sharing information to show your knowledge, your business strengths with prospects and clients. And your client base is a 4th way that you can differentiate. And I have some tips and tricks on how to differentiate your client base that I will share with you. Now, this slide may be kind of unexpected, but there's a story behind it. And so back in the 1980s, the late 1980s, I worked for a very small accounting firm. As Jeffrey said, I had started in math and accounting. I was an intern. This accounting firm had maybe 2, 3 accountants. It was super small. And they worked for the New York Giants. They were the accountant for the New York Giants NFL team, for the team and all of the members. And I thought it was cool, but I didn't think much of it at the time. But years later, when I started LBDigital, and we're growing our business, we have some smaller clients, didn't even think of larger clients. And one day I thought back and I thought of that couple of person accounting team that was the accountants for the New York Giants, and they had other clients. So they were doing a lot of business. And I said, how did they do it? And it was too late. I couldn't go back and ask. They weren't around anymore. But it was just something that stuck in my mind. And I said, you know, maybe I can figure this out. Maybe I can work with big clients being a small company. And so these are some of my clients today from LBDigital. With our partners, we're 11 people total. And we've landed clients like Microsoft and Google and Salesforce and companies that everybody knows. And so I will let you know how I did that. The first thing that really differentiated what we were doing and how my company was succeeding was community. So any of you who have worked with large companies or worked for large companies may know that they are very siloed. They do not share information between departments for a large part. There may be a couple that are different, but even within the marketing departments that I work with, you have the digital marketing person or the whole department doesn't even communicate with the direct mail or the email department. They have no idea what each other is doing. And it's really not beneficial to the company. Small businesses are different. Small businesses, as a small business, I encourage you to reach out to others that may be of interest to you, or you could be of interest to them, whether it's just sharing ideas, whether it has to do with the industry you're in, joining industry groups, or even partners like I have with my company, or GoDaddy Small Business Group, which I've joined 2 years ago when I found out about it. And it's been tremendous. It's really the only group of people that I get together with that's solely focused on sharing ideas for success of small businesses. And so I really recommend developing whatever community feels good to you. Customization. Again, large companies, while they're great and they're necessary, they can't turn on a dime. So a large company has, a large client, a big brand, let's say a computer manufacturer. That's in my case. I'm telling a story about this that happened. They're working with a larger marketing agency, and they're really selling them the same old data and the same old process. They have their sales sheets, and this is what they do. They don't really differentiate. They can't customize something. Well, we had gotten in touch with this computer manufacturer, and they had told us, we're doing kind of the same old thing. We're getting some leads. They're not all that good. We want to really reach new customers. And their goal was they have their customer list. Sure, it's huge. It's one of the largest computer manufacturers in the country. But they said, we have different products. We want to, find out who is in need of these other products now. So they started with one product, and we created an absolutely customized lead generation list for them based on some proprietary technology that we have access to. And the result was their lead generation sales doubled, and the time to sale was cut in half, and they were blown away. And so we're now working with them on different other products that they're selling. So that's how customization, you can stand out no matter what your product or service. This is an example. I'm going to be talking about content soon, but this is an example of in our overview deck that we provide to prospects of how we show our customization. We highlight it. It's something that really sets us apart. We have a unique process that we do to do the customization. It's with a partner company, but it's still something that we're the ones that are promoting this. We're the ones offering this to the marketplace. And we just kind of outline very simply how it happens, what we need from them, what to expect. And we like to have fun pictures, and I love lions. So I was happy to include that. And it really has gotten people's attention. And now talking about content. Content is another way that you can really stand out from the herd. Large corporations have lots of content. That's what they do. They have entire departments bigger than all of our companies put together that focus on content. They do blogs, they do sales sheets galore, they do PowerPoints, but it's kind of the same thing. It doesn't change. It's not something that in my experience is exciting. So with our content, we try to get attention. We try to, set ourselves apart from the other marketing companies out there. Some great strategies for doing this is if you have any successes with your clients, you want to put them down on paper or online, as you might say these days. So if you can get your clients super happy with your services, ask for a testimonial. You show a big client a bunch of testimonials that your clients have been super happy with your work and you've increased their revenues or whatever your goal is, that speaks volumes. So take case studies, follow your clients in social media, know what language they're using, and speak in that language in your blogs and your presentations, and show why you're different. Here's another example. We think we're very funny at LBDigital. This whole concept started when we were sponsoring the water bottles at an event that one of our platform partners was hosting, and we were the sponsor. So we had little water bottles, and it said third-party data that doesn't suck, and it had a picture of a straw. And so this has kind of evolved. It's something that people always comment on, whether it's a big company or small company. This is their favorite slide in our deck because it's some humor, and we like to show our humor. But really, the other important thing on this slide, and it's can be very important depending on your industry, is that we've had our data verified and validated and scored for accuracy and quality by third-party provider TrueSet. That speaks volumes. A large company looks at us and they don't know us. They may not know us from a hole in the wall because we don't have, the branding that they do, or the marketing budget, but they see, oh, our data is validated. It's extremely accurate. It's helped us land new clients. So do look at your industry and whatever is sort of like the gold standard in your industry, whatever you could get verified by a third party, do it. It really does help build trust if somebody doesn't know you well. Excuse me 1 second. And sorry for the bark. The fourth way that you could differentiate yourself is with your client base, and this is where I'm gonna kind of give some knowledge that we've learned over the years. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. So large companies, they often restrict themselves in terms of who their salespeople can sell to. For instance, I work with a company called LiveRamp. I was one of their first clients 12 years ago when they first started. And I learned after they were around for probably a year, they made this new rule. They didn't want to work with any brands that didn't bring them at least $1 million in sales a year. Well, me being a small company, I said, send me all your $900,000 a year clients. And it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that big clients they sent me, but we did have some relationship that I still have today, where companies that were not large enough or deemed not large enough by LiveRamp were able to work with me, and I was able to offer them a discount because of my larger relationship with LiveRamp. So there are things like that could be beautiful opportunities. Another thing I've done, and this is a little bit in terms of working with smaller companies, is on the other hand, I've had smaller data companies that have resold my data, and that allowed me to get revenue because I dealt with one person or one company and they were bringing me 10 clients. So kind of look for those kind of opportunities in terms of who you work with, and anyone that's not really getting served by other companies at this time. There could be that middle ground that could be a great opportunity for you and really want your services. So that is my fourth C. And now I'm going to encourage you, please think about ways you can grow your business. If you want to stay small, that's great. And if you want to keep as a small company and work with big clients, you can do it. any questions, I'm happy to answer. You can always reach me. Here's my email, amy@lbdigitaldata.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Amy Benicewicz, and always available.
Yes, thank you so much, Amy. And we're now opening up to Q&A. Drop those questions into the Q&A box, almost said the question box, but that's what it should be called. And if you want Amy to go back to a slide, we can pull it back up as well. But I already have a few questions, and I also wrote down some from myself as well. Like I said, I was already taking notes. I mean, one of my first questions is, you went over the 4 C's: community, customization, content, and client base. And I can help you right there. Boom, there we go. Let's do this. And I forgot my question. Community, customization, content, client base. Whenever we're going through these, and especially for a smaller business, what are some key things when you're building your community that you would encourage people that you know now, knowing what you know? What are some things, like the top 3 things that you would tell people when they're first building out their community?
I would say to try to look for like a very well-rounded community. So for instance, with myself, I have community with GoDaddy, which really focuses on small businesses and benefits me in that area. I have community in my industry. I join industry associations and network with marketers and share ideas and see what they're doing. And that is absolutely key, at least for my industry. And I would think for a lot of them. And the third way is to look at what other companies you can partner with. It doesn't have to be an official partnership, but it could just be, okay, here's these couple of other small businesses. It could be a complementary business, like you sell gloves and they sell hats, and you try to share your marketing with each other, try to lower costs. In my case, my partners, like one of them that's the largest partner, they handle the accounting for all of us. I don't do that anymore. I do marketing. So they handle accounting, they handle some of the operations. So they're different companies that may have like services that maybe they didn't really need someone full time, but if you kind of join forces, it can help you both succeed.
I was muted every time. You would think, after all these years. I love what you talk about when you talk about community, but also when you talk about partnering with other businesses as well. I think as small business owners, entrepreneurs, sometimes that's one thing that's really overlooked, is partnering with people that are right across from you, that's down the road. Maybe it's a friend that you know through another friend. And not only that, I feel like it gives you more exposure, but it also makes you more authentic. And when you're collaborating with different community partners, or even if it's with an organization within your community, maybe that's a charity, maybe it's a run or a walk that y'all do every year to sponsor. Another question that we have is, are there benefits from working with large corporations versus, let's say, like small to medium businesses? And why do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's sort of the question behind my whole presentation, isn't it? So there's 2 reasons why I chose to do it and that I can see doing it. One was, of course, the challenge. Like, they're my New York Giants of my company, that I was able to figure out and work with these big companies as a small company. And the other reason was that I think is relevant to everybody is diversification. So there are certain times, it's just like the stock market. There are certain times certain industries go up, certain industries go down. Small businesses go up, large corporations go down, etc. So having that diversity of your client base, I would also say, actually, the third reason is it's interesting. It's interesting working with different types of companies. It's very different, the large companies versus the small companies, and you just get to hear how different people work and to create different unique solutions for each of them.
I love that. And I love how you're creating those different solutions for each of them and not just giving it that one run of the mill, like everyone gets like a cookie cutter solution. And I I think sometimes as business owners and entrepreneurs, you're often taking on so much, especially when you're not only diversifying like what you're doing, but also you're trying to keep up with the business, trying to get your clients, your partners. You're doing so much. And not only that, you have family, and maybe you have your dogs, you have like you want to take vacations. My question is, and I think I'm trying to do better at this as well, is when we try to balance things, maybe sometimes we get too hard on ourselves, or we think that we're not doing a good enough job. We beat ourselves up like when we're business owners or just as an average person. Amy, how do you keep a positive mindset, not only about starting a business, but now that you're a business owner, how have you kept that positive mindset throughout this whole journey?
Um, Lots of deep breaths, I would have to say. But one thing, and this is something I think comes with age, to be honest, because when I was younger, whether I worked for other companies or my own, I would think about it day and night. I would, work into the night. It was absolutely crazy, and it wasn't good for myself. And it wasn't good for my family. And as I got older, I have certain mantras, and I have certain things that I look at and I say, you know what? I work from home for the last 20 years, but not every single day. But when my computer lid closes, my computer lid closes. I'm done with work. And I still think about work. It's not like you don't, but I don't let it get to a point where it's taking over my life. It's something like, it's another thing I think about, and I do think about it. But you kind of have to, it's a choice, it's a realization, and kind of you have to feel that pain of, this is too much for me sometimes, before you make that decision. My business will be there tomorrow. And I always say to myself and my partners, because the other people I work with, we all go through times where we're like, this is bothering me now. This client isn't happy, or this project has to get done yesterday. And I say, we're not brain surgeons. Nobody's going to die. We do marketing. Okay. And it just puts it in perspective for me that, it will be there tomorrow. Everything will be fine. If it doesn't get there yesterday, the client is still going to take it.
And you mentioned, deep breaths, you have your mantras. Let's say you were meeting a business owner, they were a new business owner, fresh out the gate, they just opened up their business. What would be the three things that you would tell them of how to keep a positive mindset? Like three things that have been working for you and maybe could work for them or people that are watching this later on.
Um, that's a hard one. I think everybody's different. I think what I do to keep a positive mindset, I kind of look at every day as a new opportunity. I'm in sales. I mean, that's my main focus, but every business owner is in sales. So it's kind of like whatever happened the day before, whatever didn't work last week, you lost all these accounts because of whatever. People stop buying things for different reasons, or don't need something anymore. It's, well, I was going to say it's kind of like you did it before, you could do it again. But if you're brand new, I think having that faith that other people have done this before, other people have, gone out and sold, and they're no more special than me. Maybe they're more experienced now, but I'm gaining my experience every single day. And that's something to really realize. Like when you wake up in the morning, it's like, I'm a lifelong learner. I love to learn. I'm studying all kinds of stuff. I'm studying homeopathy now. I love it. And every day you do your job, whether it's what you'd consider a successful day or not, whether you think you accomplished something or not, you've learned something. Whether it's I've learned I can't take this so seriously, I have to live my life also. Whether it's, oh, I just figured out a new way to, do something on my computer so that this is slightly easier for me for every single day going forward. So it's really just trying to look at every day as an adventure, but also every day look back at the day before and say, I'm more knowledgeable than I was yesterday. I have more in place than I had yesterday. My business is slightly more moving forward than it was yesterday. And that is a big, big deal.
It is a big deal. And it's also a reminder. I think that's really great advice is we have to take these, like if we get knocked down as learning experiences. And I think that we have to look at these as like new opportunities, but also the next opportunity if something doesn't come up for us that we want to work out. We should have to look at it as the next opportunity and keep on going. And it's easier sometimes said than done. And I think that says a lot about an entrepreneur and a business owner, like you said, to have that faith that there have been people that have been doing this for years and years that have come before them, but it just won't happen overnight sometimes. It takes time. We have a question, and it's from Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. And Patrick asks two. There's a follow up. How much would you estimate those large clients who work with value the differentiation LBD brings when it comes to choosing your company versus a larger company competitor? And he says, and as a follow up to that, do you think that those large clients had a small business that can differentiate themselves from the big business on their checklist, or do they evolve as sort of an AHA experience for them?
Could you do one question at a time, please?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
How much would you estimate those large clients you work with value the differentiation LBD brings when it comes to choosing your company versus a larger company competitor?
I think it's huge. I think it's huge. And that's why I chose to talk about it today as the main reason, the main way that we have gained these large clients, all differentiators. It's absolutely huge because a large company, they could, it's often the brand is out there, they're at trade shows, they have magicians and jugglers at their booth, they get all the attention. And often companies will just go with the large brand because they know it, they've seen that logo. But why go with LBDigital? We're not that big. We don't have magicians. We might have myself at the booth or someone else, but what sets us apart? And that's where the differentiations that I mentioned today really make a huge difference.
Thank you. And the follow-up question to that was, and I read a part wrong. Thank you, Patrick. Do you think those large clients had a small business that can differentiate themselves from the big companies on their checklist, or did that evolve as sort of an aha experience for them, like a light bulb coming off?
Yeah, no, I don't think so, Patrick. I don't think so. I think it was more that, we were able to get their attention through marketing, through prospecting, and speak specifically to them after kind of studying their business and what they were doing and what their goals were through public information, that we could speak specifically to them, again, with customization because we did our research, and speak to a pain point that they had that no one else was taking care of.
I love that. And again, thank you so much, everyone. If you have some questions, please put those in the Q&A box. And I do have one more question. And I promise this is my last personal question that I took notes on. What has been something that when we think of content, and I know some of the speakers throughout this week have talked about content a lot and how we need to make sure that, of course, we know our audience, but also to make sure we have a good posting content strategy. What is one thing that you have seen that works for you personally when it comes to content? And what is one thing that you've learned that didn't work?
So what I have seen is to do a combination of business and personal content. And I think Marcia definitely does an excellent job on that. She touched on that yesterday. And I'm not posting as often as her, doing I think as good a job, but I definitely feel that posting some things that are like sort of stand out, like think of the picture of the lion, or third-party data that doesn't suck, versus just doing versus saying these are our new audiences, take a look at this. So I think a combination of that has, they get different amounts of likes. Some of the likes may be because it was interesting, funny, or cute. But still, those are people that now have noticed me. Maybe they go to my page and see what I'm about, and I may see them again, and there may be opportunity. So I just think it's fun.
I love that. And Patrick said, love the pain point solution. Love that what differentiated your business was better knowledge of the client pain. Thank you, Patrick. And thank you all again for attending our webinar today throughout Small Business Week. And Amy, as we wrap up, what is one thing that you're going to be working on in the future that you want to let everyone know about?
Um, so one thing that I'm working on in the future is to really expand the services I'm providing to my current customers. I have a great customer base. I love working with them. I do prospect and, getting new customers too. But one of the things we realized is that there's so much more that our customer base who, likes our services and sees the difference that we can make with our attention to them. Could use. And so we're working on partnering with companies to be able to expand our marketing services from audiences and data and prospecting to also include some of the new tech like CTV marketing, streaming services, and email. So
Oh,
keep it
I love that. Yes, offering more services, doing the most in 2024. Again, everyone give it up for Amy Benicewicz. Like I'm clapping, I'm literally clapping in my office up here. Thank you so much, Amy, from GoDaddy to everyone that's been involved this week. Like we appreciate you so, so much. And thank you for closing us out this week, Amy Benicewicz. We appreciate you so much and thank you for everything that you do for the GoDaddy small business community. We cannot say thank you enough. And with that, thank you everyone that's been attending this week. We appreciate you so, so much. Look out for the recording on YouTube and some social cuts on our social media platforms. Thanks everyone and have a great Friday and a great weekend.